Now, I don't care what anybody says, man. The games on here are soft, even at mid stakes, right? And we got a good one to go over here. It's actually going to run for, I think, like 15 to 20 minutes. But for those of you guys watching for the first time, I always like to give a little background on myself. I've basically been playing for like last 2 decades, hop out about 4 times a week playing mid stakes. I don't have one type of strategy like GTO, ABC, or whatever. I really focus on two things, right? The first is making good decisions because, at the end of the day, we do have control over that. And the second thing is I try and use strategies against my opponents and exploit them as much as possible. Meaning, and you're going to see it in this, I will bluff without hesitating if I think somebody is weak. After playing so many hands, you kind of just pick up on these little things a lot quicker. Of course, as I'm getting this, also want to let you guys know we have an awesome community in the pinned comment section where you can talk to me one-on-one as well as with some of the high-level members. And honestly, if you're just kind of like stuck or hitting a wall at your current stake, it's definitely worth getting in there. Plus, this can be isolating, and I just think that getting in a community definitely makes sense. Grab a bottle of water, some Gatorade, or some coffee, and let's lock in, man, and tap that like, man. All right, so we had an ace king here, kind of off the rip, and I kind of went for a big bluff here. Look at this, man. Kind of early on too. I was like, you know what? Let's just bluff at this. Let's see what that turn card would have been. Would have been a queen. So we would have had some outs, I guess, going to the river there, but that was a pretty interesting bluff. Also, questions, comments, things like that, feel free to message me. But yeah, man, I'll tell you what. If you put in like the work at this, man, I'm telling you what. These games are soft, okay? Especially like as you get to these mid-tier games. It's what I've experienced. I've been on here long enough though that I'm top tier. Whatever it is that you can get to. I think it's like Hall of Fame Red Room or something like that. So, I've been doing my thing in here for a long time. But here we go, ace 10. But we do have a pretty big one. I don't want to give anything away coming up a little bit later on in this. So kind of just, like I said, sit back, get ready for it. And we're going to do our thing here, man. We're going to do our thing. All right, ace 10 off. Pretty standard open here, 1250 piece, back over to player 3. He's just gonna let it go, man. He's gonna let it go, and we're gonna continue on here. Ace queen. What was kind of weird here is you're gonna see me get a bunch of good hands like back to back to back. Normally it doesn't happen like this, but for some reason we were just kind of getting them. A lot of ace X's here. All right, ace queen offsuits. Everybody playing pretty tight here. Looks like if we look at the table, player 2 and player 4 doing pretty decent. And here's another ace. An ace 5 is very playable, even offsuit in the big blind. So, going to be making a call here for sure. All right, player 2. Okay, not really the flop we wanted, but we could still be in a spot where player 2 doesn't have anything either. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So I'm going to make this call. Turn card is going to be a 6. Pick up sticks, had to say it. I'm still feeling like player 2 could be weak here. All right, so I actually went with a bluff. Let's see if it got through. It was a small bluff. I felt like it would work. All right, so he's going to think about it. He took a lot of time here. I felt like if he had ace high, maybe he makes this call, But I don't know. I kind of was calling him every step of the way here. So maybe he was thinking I was like on a sneaky deuce here. Maybe an 8, Anyways, this guy's going to tank this for a little while. Kind of annoying. It's like, make a decision, buddy. Ultimately, he just folded it. So the bluff worked there. I've had a couple bluffs in this so far. Like, obviously that ace king was a little bit out there, but it's all good. All right, folded the 4-7. And, we progress. All All right, Jack King suited. So it is kind of weird. I was getting a lot of good looking hands in this, especially just early on. Doesn't always go like that. You could sit down for like an hour to an hour and a half and not get anything. I've had those on here. I call it the lull period. You know what I mean? The lull. But yeah, kind of coming back to these games are soft, man. I mean, I don't know what else to say. They just are. I think people give away their hands too much too, and that's kind of when you can open things up a little bit. Now here at a queen six suited, this is another hand in the, even if I was in the smaller big blind, you know, I'm gonna make a call here. Sometimes I might even re-raise this, you know, especially from like a button raise. I just called though. Flop not bad because even though there's an ace out there, we have a pair. We also have runner for the hearts. Two pairs, trips. So, I mean, we can't really go anywhere here. We're going to continue calling and see what happens here on the turn. All right, this guy went pretty small. No reason to raise. But the turn card gave us, you know, more outs. So we need a heart, queen, six, a lot of possibilities. So, I mean, we have a good amount of outs going to the river here. I'm just going to call this. We're not going to raise. We missed everything. Okay, so now I'm in a spot where bluffing is probably not going to work. That's why I didn't lead out here against player 4. And, you know, it's a little frustrating. We missed everything here, but it is what it is. All right, he went for a 90 piece on the river, and I had to give it up. So we're going to give that guy credit for having something. It did kind of feel like he had something anyways, so, you know, it is what it is, y'all. What else can we do there? All right, so I'm going down a little bit, but it's all good. And like I said, we got a big hand coming up, so don't go anywhere, guys. All right, queen 7 off, just going to muck this. King 9, gonna do a button raise here, 1250 piece, or I just went the straight 15. And I think you could kind of notice, man, like everyone's playing really tight, which is, you sit at a table for like 20 or 30 minutes, you really just start to pick up on how people are playing. And you can kind of see everyone's playing really tight, which just means you should open up more, which is kind of what I'm doing anyways, even though it was just a pretty standard position raise. Pocket 9s. See if we can get something going with 9s. See, everybody was folding, man. Just so, it's almost like frustrating. All right, 8-5, gonna fold. Can't really play this. But, just predictable behavior from everybody here. I mean, that's basically what you're seeing. I mean, everyone's kind of just like, you just kind of know if somebody has something. All right, nothing going there. All right, we get another king 9. Of course, it's not suited. We're just gonna muck that. And yeah, so, you know, started things off with a couple bluffs. Now we're just kind of adjusting, looking for a spot here. And like I said, man, it's not just about bluffs. It's about like the feeling of knowing somebody doesn't have something they'll call you. You know what I mean? Plus, when you're playing mid stakes, bluffing works a lot better. You know, because they're just more involved in it. You're playing a low stake, then yeah, people don't care as much because it's just less. But like as you move up, you know, it becomes a little bit more significant. All right, anyways, Jack 6 suited, I could have played that. Maybe I should have played that. I don't know why I folded that, just based on how things are going at this table. Probably should have just played it. Oh well, I'm not going to dwell on that one too much. All right, 7 deuce, man. We can't play the 7 deuce. The 7 deuce game is not on. We're folding it, man. We're folding it. Yes, sir. Going to get rid of it. All right, so we're kind of getting close to like the hand of this one. You know, like I said, I don't want to give anything away. Jack 10, offsuit here. This is pretty much a call. Unless somebody raises, then we kind of got to think about it a little bit more. All right, back over to player 5, and once again, everybody's playing so tight. We're gonna get to see a flop. Let's see if we can get something, and we didn't. A couple things about this flop. We do have some runner card possibilities for spades, straights, you know. So, but I mean, do we want to really continue if somebody puts out a lot? That's kind of the question, you know. I think player 4 is gonna go with the 25 piece, and I think that I was just kind of like not interested, you know, because we need so many cards runner wise. Let's see if we would have got any of it. Nope. See, it was a good fold, guys. It was a good fold, and kind of brings us up to the spot right here, man. And I hope you guys have stuck with me. Pocket aces, man. So we got aces. Now we're just hoping somebody's got something. To be fair, though, I was feeling like, just based on how this one was going, that like no one was going to do anything here and everyone was just going to fold, which is like the most frustrating thing if you have aces or kings, but it is what it is. And it kind of, as I'm making my way to the end of this, guys, like I said, man, we have an awesome community, and yeah, any kind of insight you need, man, pin comment, man. Check it out. All right, but here we go. Now, this is going to look like a position raise, right? Because we're on the button, which is nice. So if either of these guys has like a decent hand, I'm expecting to get re-raised. Even though it hasn't happened at all in this one, I am still expecting it and keeping my fingers crossed, right? That somebody does. But here we are. All right, so just doing a little 1250 piece, you know, a little sprinkle. Just a little sprinkle, you know what I'm saying? All right, and finally, something good happens. Player 1's going to kick it up to the 60 piece, and now I'm thinking to myself, like, all right, let's, you know, let's do this, you know what I'm saying? Couple options here. I could just re-raise this, or I could just come over the top, and maybe he calls. And I thought about it for a little bit, but then I was like, you know what, let's just come over the top. Maybe he does call us, you know? Maybe he does. Maybe he's got a really strong hand. I was hoping to put this guy in maybe like pocket queens, maybe ace queen suited, less likely ace king. You got to be thinking like that too, like, because we have pocket aces, it's a lot less likely our opponent could have like an ace king, ace queen, but it's still possible. You know, it's still possible for sure. So yeah, I'm gonna come over the top here. Let's see what happens, y'all. Let's see what happens. Let's see if this guy's gonna make the call, or is it just gonna be another fold, because it's just been constant folds in this one. Fortunately, he is going to make a call, okay? I don't want to give anything away, but he is going to call us, which feeling pretty good about, man. And he called pretty quick with jacks. So we're in a really good spot here. We just have to dodge the jack. There's no straight possibilities for this guy. That's done for. We were also blocking clubs. We had a club here. It didn't really matter anyways. And going to the river here, man, we got a pretty big pot. Will it hold? Will it hold? Yes, sir. Okay, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed another one here. Been watching the vids, man. You know, I'm trying to put out 3 to 4 per week, around that. But, you know, I like to give my insight on some of this stuff. Plus, you know, I've been doing this for a while now. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.